Let's go today. Loyalist Kingdom. My name's Dwayne.
My name's Jasmine.
We're Dwayne and Jasmine. I shaved. She told me to stop, but I kept going.
I told him.
I miss my beard.
He tried to
get the stubble. I tried to just get the stubble because it was running too wild.
He tried to trim down and shape up his beard and his goatee. And then he
naked.
reached a point when I was like, it is fine, it's perfect. But then he went back and started, I just heard the clippers again. I was like, why is he cutting it again? And he was like, oh, because I can. And now he sees that it was uneven and he had to take out all of it.
Anyway.
So, if he looks different, it is his fault. I told him not to.
I look ugly right now, it's okay.
But no, you don't.
Anyway, guys, today we have for you my teachers about the TheOdd1sOut. Don't forget, if you have any extra requests, please follow us on all our social media and link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. 40K more subs till we reach 1 million. Let's get it.
Today is the very last day for you to get your Loyalist merch. Very last day.
Shop
This is the last day. You have less than 24 hours.
Yep,
okay?
Midnight tonight, it ends.
Midnight, it is done.
So make sure you cop. Let's dive on in.
Okay.
Jeff, you have the board. I'll take random James trivia for 400, Alex. This was James's first career choice before his YouTube channel
Subway.
kicked off.
Subway.
Oh, I know this one. What is a male prostitute? Okay, that bit's done now. Male prostitute was never a career goal. Well, I mean, it's not completely off the table. You never know how YouTube will turn out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, this TheOdd1sOut trivia, I wanted to be a math teacher when I grew up. My dream job was actually a cartoonist. But since me and my parents didn't think I'd be able to make any money drawing pictures, I chose a math teacher as my, I'll settle for this job. I mean, I like math, so I wouldn't have hated being a math teacher. And I'm also probably good at teaching children. I haven't checked though, but how hard can it be? Listen, kids, I have 2.7 million subs on YouTube, so if you want a shout out, you'll have to do the homework. And I thought that job would give me enough free time to doodle cartoons, so being a math teacher would have been perfect. But oh boy, that did not turn out how I expected. If for some reason my channel died and I stopped making YouTube videos, I would probably go back to school and finish my math education major. And then I'd be teaching a class and then one of my students would find out that I used to do YouTube,
and
then they'd say, Mr. James, are you the TheOdd1sOut? The TheOdd1sOut? I haven't heard that name in years. You shouldn't smoke in front of children, Mr. James. I just want to point this out. In my peeing video, I drew my first grade teacher like this, and in my Harry the Moth video, I drew my kindergarten teacher like this. Do you have an explanation on why they're drawn so similar? Yeah, I was lazy. Teachers play such an important role for children, and if I'm being honest, I don't think they get paid enough to take their job seriously.
No.
A good teacher can make you excited to learn the material and actually teach you, while a bad teacher can not only waste your time and not teach you anything, but also crush your dreams. I took choir in 9th grade. Everyone had to take it, okay? It was a prep school. Not weird. And one time while we were singing the song, the teacher said, "Stop. Who's flat?" Then she pointed at a boy and told him, "You, sing." And he sang for a bit. Then she pointed at another boy, "You, sing."
That's
she went
evil.
for a couple more, and then she pointed to me and said, "You, sing." And I sung. Stop, James. During the next song, don't sing. Either she had really good hearing, or I was just that terrible at singing. Now, I really hated choir. So if given the choice to sing or not sing, I would choose not every time. But what if I actually wanted to be a singer? And when I sang just then, I was trying my hardest. That would have been soul-crushing. I would have given up on music right then and there. Thankfully, my art teacher was a lot more laid back. She definitely had favorite students, and I wasn't one of them, but she never told anyone not to draw. One time I showed my art teacher my newest comic, which at the time was this one. And without telling her that I was the one who made it, I asked, "What do you think of this art style?" And she said, "Oh, I hate it. But it's fine if you like it. In my classroom, we try to go for realism. But people with that art style can still have successful careers."
Okay.
She said she hated it. Teachers just need to be more supportive with students and teach them in creative ways. That's why I think so many people hate math. You just haven't had a teacher that made you want to learn. You'd pay attention and study for the tests if I was your math teacher, wouldn't you? Don't get me wrong, teaching isn't an easy job. And even the best teacher can't make everyone in their class excited to learn. I mean, I probably could,
Like me.
but there's definitely a difference between a good and bad teacher. I had this French teacher in 9th grade, and she made me really hate French, and by association, the entire country of France. She spoke English on the first day of class, and then only spoke French for the rest of the year. We were in French 1, by the way. I didn't understand anything that was going on. I would just tune her out. I'd be doodling on a piece of paper, and then people would get out their textbooks and start flipping through it, and then I'd think, oh, we're doing this now? I didn't learn anything in that class. Honestly, I barely know any French. This is all the French words that I know. I can count to 10. Ou, deux, trois, carte, cinq, six, sept, huit, neuf. Okay, I can only count to 9.
Sorry.
Tower is Tor Eiffel, Quack is coin, and Door is portal. My twin sister, who's in the same class and had the same living conditions as me, turned out a lot different. She learned a lot of French and continued to take classes after 9th grade. So maybe this whole knowledge thing has a lot to do with the student and not the teacher. Nah, it's the teacher's fault. Did anyone else, when you were little, think that your teacher lived at the school?
Yes.
I remember one time my kindergarten teacher came to school in her pajamas and told us that she lived at the school. And that made perfect sense.
Oh, well,
yeah, this
that
is your
didn't
home.
happen to
It's the only place I ever see you, therefore you live here. Man, I wish I could work in my pajamas. When I went to community college, I had
That's
a math
him.
teacher who was this old grandpa, and on the first day, he told us that he never missed a class in 20 years. But then, the very next day, he didn't show up. Now, in college, teachers not showing up to class is pretty normal. Or at least it was in the colleges I went to. It happened more times than it did in high school. That's
Yes,
for sure.
it did.
That's something to look forward to, seniors. Every time it does happen, there's always that one kid who will say, you know, there's a rule that if the teacher doesn't show up within the first 15 minutes of class,
then you can leave.
I don't know if that rule is true, but I'm not going to look it up. Because I like that rule.
It is.
And I want it to be true. And I don't even go to college anymore, so why does it matter? So teachers not showing up, that's not too abnormal, but since this old guy told us he never missed a day of class in 20 years, we thought he died.
Yeah.
But nope, he just missed a day. He showed up the 3rd day. I don't know what his excuse was because after I saw him, I thought, oh good, he's alive. And I stopped paying attention because community college sucks. I'd say that my favorite teacher would be my 11th grade AP US history teacher. I liked him because it was obvious that he liked the material and he would teach us in a way that was fun and interesting. He was also a more laid back and generally a funny person. He's the teacher that I want to be. He gave me a compliment once that has always stuck with me. He was telling the class about the AP test, which is this super important open-ended essay test that we took at the end of the year.
Yes.
And if we did well on it, the grade would count for college credit.
Yes.
So like a week before the test, our teacher was preparing us and he said, guys, don't try and be funny on the AP test. The graders don't have a sense of humor. Except James. James can be funny on the test. Aww, that compliment made me so happy and confident. I don't know how serious my teacher was when he said that, and he probably doesn't even remember saying it, but I really appreciated it. I ended up getting a 3 on the test, which is only partial credit in select colleges, so maybe I'm not funny. That was 11th grade. In 12th, I took all AP classes, but I didn't take any of the AP tests.
How?
I was too apathetic. But I turned out fine. Actually, no. My favorite teacher is my 9th grade English teacher who emailed me and said he watches my videos. Hi, Mr. Batman. Sorry I plagiarized the Berlin Wall essay. I really wanted to talk about my 9th grade poetry teacher. Yes, I took choir, French, and poetry all in 9th grade. It was preparatory school. That teacher was definitely something, but this video is getting too long, so I'll have to make a part 2.
I've said this story, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Spanish.
I already do it.
Jamaican.
Together.
Teacher. How? It didn't make sense. She could barely speak English. She's Jamaican. She's teaching us Spanish. It didn't make any sense at all. And what I didn't like about it was that I was actually trying, and I was still failing. And everybody said, "You got her." And I was like, it was like, you know, the clouds.
Yeah.
Like,
the dark clouds.
Like, he said, you got who? You got her? Everybody's like, everybody fails her class. Even Spanish kids that know Spanish be getting C's and B's. None of them I'm dead serious. None of them got A's in her class. They got, and then I remember one time a Spanish kid like went off on her. He was real mad because he got like a C+.
How?
Okay, but it's a Spanish kid sitting behind me. I'm calling Dr. L. Dr. L. She was an L. Dr. L.
You got an L.
Yeah, Dr. L. He was like, she was a doctor too. All right, but anyway, Dr. L. So he curves his hand. She calls upon him, and he was like, "How did I get a C+ in this test when I know Spanish?" And she's like, "You didn't know the proper nouns of Spanish." And then he started going off, bruh. He went off, and I think like my parents saw like I failed and they wanted to talk to the teacher, and I was telling her, and then you know they be trying to switch up.
Yeah, they always switch. Teachers always switch up whenever they get in front of your parents.
Whenever, she would say, "Oh, I was being disruptive in class and all this other stuff." I was like, "Bro, all right, so what's up with the other?" Because they had other parents in there, and I was like, "What's up with this other kids?" And then I told the other parents. And it was like, what's up with the other kids? And the Spanish dude's parents came to the joint too. And that joke was like, they was like, because he ended up getting like a B or something like that. But they was mad because I was like, how he doesn't get an A? So that was the thing. And then they talked, I think his parents talked to my parents. and they was like, oh no, her class, the parents was like, he's like, I'm like, I told, and then they finally believed me, and they was like, well, just try to pass as best as you can in that class. Cause I'm like, bruh, if a Spanish kid that knows Spanish is getting a B in this class, and I don't know the language, how am I supposed to get an A in this class? How am I supposed to get as good as him, and he barely passing with a B?
School just sucked for us, especially like we was talking about AP and the AP test. I just had a like quick flashback because what?
You got a little something right there. Look like you got like a nose ring. It's like I'm serious, like a little black. I'm just keep that because it does look nice.
Thank you. Like when for my AP in 11th grade, I had AP English and AP World History, both of which I didn't even sign up for. So the two teachers, tell me why, one of them was pregnant, and then the other one, I think she was she was pregnant as well. Both of them pregnant. Both of them had their babies around the same time, and this is within the first quarter of the school year. So the rest of the school year, we had subs for the teacher, for both of the teachers. So when it came down, and they don't teach. Our subs don't teach. I don't know about y'all, but our subs do not teach. They just give us like little like worksheets, and then that's it. So when it came down to the AP test that we gotta take at the end of the year, all of us failed. All of us failed except for like maybe 2 people that, you know, the above and beyond students, okay? All of us failed. All of us was in that test like, we about to fail this joint, like seriously, and we all did. We got like 2s, some people got 1s, and it was
like
just
partial
bad.
credit.
Yeah. So we all just knew, we all just went in like, what grade did you get? We'd be like, man, I got a 2. Dang, me too. And that's because we didn't have a teacher. And we were trying to tell people, like we were trying to tell our parents, like we didn't fail because we just weren't paying attention. We didn't have nobody to teach us. So how are we gonna take a test on something that we don't even know?
Right, yeah.
I was just like, this is not even fair at this point. I was just like, I just hated school. I was so happy on graduation day. Everybody was crying. Like, oh, I'm gonna miss you. I was the happiest smiling person in there, okay? I was not gonna miss anybody. Okay, and the people that I did care about, they lived down the street from me, so I didn't care.
Have you had any good teachers?
My choir teachers. Those are the only ones.
I had this one cool teacher, but he wasn't even my teacher. Never even had his class, but he was like really cool. He was an art teacher. He was really cool. I'm not gonna say his name, but just for privacy. But he was really cool. There would be times where he would let me like sit. He had like after school like things where they used to watch cartoons and anime, and he would break snacks and all this type of stuff. His joke was lit. His joke was lit. I don't
like you now. You got a teacher like that.
I didn't have it. He wasn't my teacher. He was just. I knew him through another who introduced me, and you know he was cool.
I was about to say, that's not fair.
He definitely hooked me up because I was on the basketball team.
I know in my school, like when it was like towards like the end of like the year, you know when you don't really do any work, but they just make you still come to school. Like my school would be playing bootleg movies.
Oh my god!
Like the movies that was in the movie theaters like last week. Like yeah, like we had it and we was just in there sitting watching the movies and stuff. We weren't supposed to, but hey, somebody brought it.
We gonna end it right there. Anyway, guys.
Like all right, Wolverine, yay!
Anyway, guys, please comment below, touch your thing.
I'm gonna get to like
subscribe. It's just more news.